Good morning. I'm Ron Moore, and this is your morning cup of motivation. Hey, have you ever wondered, when is my Red Sea going to part? You know, maybe you're going through something right now that kind of like what the Moses and the Egyptians did when they were at the verge of the Red Sea. And Moses and the kids of Israel, that is, they were at the verge of the Red Sea. The mean, nasty Egyptians were right on their tail, and they really didn't see how they could go forward. They knew they couldn't go backward. And it's just a situation that it's like, if God doesn't come through, you're sunk. You ever been there? Maybe you're there right now, and you're wondering, when is my Red Sea going to part? Well, it's going to part right at the same time that those ever so fickle kids of Israel's Red Sea parted. When Moses got this is right there out of how about Exodus 14, all right? Exodus 14, Moses got right there on the brink. Now, before this happened, now remember, the kids of Israel were just freaking out. What are we going to do, Moses? What are we going to do? Man, I've been there before. Lord, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? How am I going to pay these bills? How am I going to make this marriage work? How am I going to advance in my career? How am I going to make money? What am I going to do? Well, Moses, as typical leadership, says, hey, stand and see him. He spoke words of faith to him. Then he got before the Lord, and it doesn't say this, but it's like, because the Lord said, what are you complaining about, Moses? Why are you crying out to me? Keep marching, Moses. And so maybe that's the word for you, because they kept marching. And then, and I get this, it was when Moses got to the very brink, the very banks of the Red Sea, and they couldn't, again, remember, they couldn't just jump in a body of water. There's somewhere between 1.5 to 2 million crazy kids of Israel there. And so it was when they got to the bank of the Red Sea, and he lifted his staff, and boom, that water parted. Now, and here's a little nugget too I thought about last night when I was rereading this, is that you see the whole principle of supernaturally natural and naturally supernatural in this, because supernaturally God parted those waters, and they were this huge bank of waters that they walked through. But he used the natural wind to dry out the ground. And it says they marched through those, what would have been mud up to their necks. They marched through on dry ground. And so maybe that's a word for somebody today, that you don't need to look for the weird and hokey. Just know that it's supernaturally natural and naturally supernatural. But your Red Sea, my friend, is going to part when you're right there on the edge. And know that God is for you. Hey, you have a great day, and I'll talk to you again on Wednesday. Bye-bye now.